Hi everybody, I'm Panos Panay. I'm here with one of my great friends, Brad Anderson. We thought we'd mix it up a little bit. And I'm pretty sure you've been listening to keynotes for first part of the day and you've seen a lot of talking and so forth in just structured way, but Brad and I thought we'd come behind the scenes, talk to you a little bit, get together and maybe share a few stories and connect. What do you think, Brad?
No, I think it's a great idea. You know, Panos, I think about you and I working together. And I got to tell you, I think my favorite moment of you and I working together is you gave me a call, 18 months ago, 24 months ago, and you said, hey, Brad, I want to talk to you about something that I'm thinking about doing, I want to work on with you.
I think I remember.
That became the duo. And so I love the fact that you and I get to spend so much time together now as we're thinking about how we take Windows, even to that next level.
Yep.
For many of the people in the community here, you know that I've been working on Windows deployment and management for more than 2 decades. My entire career has been based on it. What some of you may not know is Panos was asked to lead Windows about 9 months ago. So, you know Panos for just the incredible craftsmanship and the vision that, a Surface. And I love the fact that Panos can now bring that passion, that craftsmanship, and that art to Windows. And so I'd be curious, what's been the first 9 months for you been like running Windows?
It's good. First off, it's fun being here with you. I got to
totally,
tell you, man.
Totally.
It's so like being in the studio, kind of checking it out, seeing where it's all going together. It's a good start to the day today.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting 9 months for sure. I think the best way to talk about it is, when I first jumped in, it was a conversation, and we were talking about, hey, we really want to bring more invigoration into Windows. We want to put some energy into it. It's such an important platform for the company, and so many things from M365 coming together, lighting up for so many of you that use it for your customers and for the whole world. Mm-hmm. But it really was about this moment of, let's make sure people understand what the PC is, how essential it truly is. And now, mind you, that was
pre-pandemic.
Yeah, it's amazing. It was like job one. Panos, get in there and let's have the conversations, make it clear. Let's make the investments that make it super clear that this thing's essential to get work done.
It's just a core part of life. Boy, did the pandemic change that.
It did. It became pretty evident for so many people. I remember taking the responsibility, kind of doing the rounds, getting ready to do, the first strategy session, keynote. Where are we taking Windows? What are we doing with it? And during that time, it was, Panos, really, there's a theme out there that you can do everything on your phone right now. And while I love Duo, it's a crazy cool product, at the end of the day, to get work done, to learn, to be your best, to be as productive as you can, to bring your learnings and to bring a lot of that opportunity, the PC, Windows, the collection of what the OEMs bring to the table, what you do with management for Windows, it's not just essential, like it's at this point of we need it every day, and it helps us be better, which is awesome. So this is what it gets me so excited. I'm afraid to say pumped because I know,
that's you're
going to make fun of me, but I do get pretty pumped. And then when you think about it, now you ask the question that I was dealing with just 6-7 months ago.
Yeah.
Hey, Panos, how are you going to compete with a phone? And it's so interesting. That's not the question anymore, Brad. Like, we're right now in some of the highest usage we've ever seen on Windows.
Ever.
The increases in usage and minutes and how it's being used, the connection with humans, like in so many different forms, the impact Teams is having on the world through Windows, like it's incredible. It's inspiring, but it's also game-changing from that first question. Like, how are you going to get people understanding how important and essential the PC is? But also, how are we going to invigorate Windows in the future? I want to move Windows from people needing it and knowing they need it, whether it's learning, whether it's teaching, or it's working, or creating.
Yeah, creating.
And, and that's what you need it for, to loving and wanting. Like, it's a little bit in the essence of the details and, the gestalt of something, the thing that I want, our IT pros that are listening today and the people deploying Windows, I want you to feel pressure from your customers saying, give me the next one, give me Windows, give it to me. I hear it's awesome. And so we are doing that right now. We're bringing together the whole company. We're thinking about, where we are today, but where we want people to be, where we can help tomorrow, where we can drive into that resilience, where we can find ways to empower every human on the planet even further. And now that the PC is moving to, the idea of a PC in every home to a PC for every person, like this idea is so empowering for a team. But here's the deal, like when we work together and what we do together with Windows and what you've done, Brad, with management and deployment, and kind of where the world is moving towards when you think about what the cloud can enable with the future of Windows and Windows right now, and the energy we're seeing as it takes off. It'd be worth it for me if you would share with everybody all the things you're thinking about in management just right now, and the difference it's made, and the tools that you're putting forward for folks. That'd be just a good few moments on that might be worth our time.
Yeah, as the pandemic started, I think I was on 2 or 3 phone calls just about every day with CIOs.
I know that feeling. It was incredible.
Yeah, as they were trying to understand, how do we react to this? They weren't to the response state yet, but how do we just react to this? And I remember talking with CIOs and they're saying like, hey, I need thousands of PCs. I can't find them. You could not find a PC in March and April anywhere because the demand was just so high. And then I saw leaders who were provisioning thousands of Windows virtual desktops a day because as as the economy shut and everyone went home, the need to have that PC experience on your home, multiple places in your home, if you had remote learners, remote workers, it was just remarkable to see it. I remember we saw literally hundreds of millions of new PCs come online, and we saw millions of devices we hadn't seen for a year come back as any computing device that you could find, you turned on because you needed to have that PC.
Yeah, that was happening, and it still is.
And then, I saw this need of organizations saying, I've got to deploy thousands or tens of thousands of new PCs out to my users, but they're not in the office. And so it's not like the old days where you would have a build lab, the PCs would come in, IT would provision it. They needed to provision it in someone's home. And so these concepts of saying like autopilot, where you can literally drop ship a PC to someone's home, they have that beautiful experience of opening up that PC out of the box.
By the way,
Christmas
game-changing. That tech is game-changing, and everything you pull through to make it happen has been amazing.
Yeah.
And I think it is a big way to talk about how you connect with people just as an IT pro or as somebody who's deploying a product, like the idea that it's that personal, and it's been game-changing.
A more than 250% increase in the use of autopilot, and the time to provision the PC has dropped from 45 minutes down to below 10.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
And the reason this is all possible is, if you think about what's been happening, we talk about the intelligent cloud and the intelligent edge, and they're linked. And so as I think about Windows, I think about this incredible loved operating system that many of us have worked on for decades. Now it's attached to the cloud in super meaningful ways. And so as I think about the future of management and security, it's all about taking these control planes that have historically been on site and you move them up into the cloud. The thing that is happening now is we are moving aspects of the intelligent edge into the cloud. And so this movement of, hey, let's take provisioning, management and security, and now operate that from these cloud services, that is where the future lies. Because what that allows us to do is learn at this incredible scale now where we have more than 1 billion Windows 10 devices helping us understand how they're operating. We can learn at that scale, and then we can apply that learning to an individual PC or an individual customer and help them understand what's the experience you're giving your users and how can you make it better.
And on a worldwide basis.
And
I think sometimes, even as I came in to take on a little bit more responsibility with Windows, like seeing the impact worldwide that the product has and how we deploy it worldwide, it's just been incredible. I mean, those tools you put together they're outstanding.
Yeah, just to kind of give you some more concepts of what we're seeing. We just got some research back where, this was research that was done in July of this year, so less than 60 days ago. And so in the throes of the pandemic, everyone working remotely. Yep. And what this research did is it went out and it looked at usage of Microsoft 365 in customers, about 500 customers in North America and Western Europe. And what the research showed us was, first of all, they categorized every customer into an average user of Microsoft 365, a below average or above average user. And then we could see what was the effect on employee sentiment, happiness, loyalty, productivity. Yeah. What was the impact on cost for IT as an organization moved from below average usage of Microsoft 365 to above? And so here's what we saw. When an organization moves from being a below average user of Microsoft 365 to above, here's the numbers. 217% higher user satisfaction on the remote work experience.
Right, I totally believe it. Here's what I think: when you drive the end-to-end building of hardware and software, so people are opening their PCs and they're bringing that whole Microsoft 365 experience to life with them. And the design elements that go into that to bring it forward, you gotta think that it results in the numbers you're talking about.
Absolutely.
And this is where we're putting our passion and energy as a company right now. I think it's a critical way to talk about it.
Organizations that are heavy users of Microsoft 365 are 81% more likely to say the experience we're putting in the hands of our employee makes them more loyal to the company. They want to stay longer.
Yeah, and this is it. Like, employee retention is a huge thing.
Yep.
Like, and especially the cost today of trying to, train up an employee, get them invested in the culture, get them in. Like, keeping them in is just as important as getting them in. And we're learning that.
And there's something about, that experience that IT puts in the hands of their users. The user can walk away with a sense of, hey, I work for a company that is forward thinking. It's an innovative company. If it's a great experience. If it's not a great experience, what the users think, the employees think is, I'm working for a company that's behind the times.
For sure. You see this with, especially with millennials.
Yeah.
Because what's happening, they're
100%.
They're coming into the workplace. We see this every day. And we see it with our data that you're pointing out is coming in. And is the company investing in me or not? That's a big part of it. Like, it's part of the entire package, that the feeling of that investment. And when these products come together the way they do, and you're now resulting in faster updates, you have more feedback loops, you have a product that's
exactly
working better, it feels like it's working for you, and whether it's on the edge or in the cloud, and it ends up resulting in people feeling good about what they're using. And I think one of the big filters for go forward Windows is, and Satya and I have talked about this quite a bit, and it's a big topic of, we want that end user pull, because as people come in to use these products, like, these are precious, and it's what you use every day. It's the thing that you're especially now, and we talk
all day long.
We talk about the fatigue that comes with that.
Yeah,
it's gotta be something that people want and are gravitating to right now. And I think you're seeing that from the company now. The investments we're putting from the cloud all the way through, to the OS, the edge. You can see it coming through in the products themselves. And there's never been more investment in Windows than right now.
That's true.
It's a pretty exciting time. So, like, coming on and, like, from the beginning of our story today to right now, like, that transition over these last several months has been pretty exciting, and you've been a huge part of that.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, having worked on these deployment and management tools for more than 20 years, here's what is so different today than even from 2 years ago.
Oh.
It's the cloud intelligence. Think about it for a minute. There are more than 1 billion Windows 10 PCs on the planet right now that are used every day. There's operational signal that comes back to us that helps us understand, is it secure? What's the experience? We can learn from that. Let me give you a couple of examples of what we can do now. Historically, the single largest cost of upgrading from one version of Windows to another was compatibility testing. It was 25-30% of the total cost of ownership. I can automate that entirely now through the cloud. Think about it. I get a chance to see how every application compatibility is now on top of Windows globally. I can learn from that, and I can now strip out all of that human labor, and I can come back to an organization and say, of your 2,000 apps, and that's an interesting data point, the average enterprise has 2,000
Yeah, I know.
Windows apps.
That's one of those numbers that blows my mind.
2,000 Windows apps. And I can come back and tell them exactly which ones of the 2,000 apps are not going to be compatible with the next version of Windows, and why, and how to fix it.
I think one of the things I'm most proud of, when you think about just the entire cycle we're talking about, is our ability to listen, our willingness to listen, your willingness to listen, and make the changes that are needed for our customers. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that, if people were to ask me what has been the fundamental difference in the company today from, say, 8 or 9 years ago, it's a culture that's based upon a growth mindset and trying to be learn-it-alls. And this is an interesting place where the culture and the architecture, these cloud services, the intelligent cloud, accelerate each other.
It's so interesting.
Because we're able to iterate so quickly now in a cloud model. We can update that cloud service multiple times a day, and we do. And so we can have an idea, experiment, get something in the cloud. Hey, we have an idea of how we can make it easier to deploy Windows, easier to secure it. We can go experiment with that, get feedback back, and we can just move so quickly. But the other key thing here is, this concept of being a learn-it-all, the company is invested in what we call, some customers or some organizations call them customer success units. We call it fast track and software engineering that's based upon the user experience. We have entire teams who all they do in the engineering team is work with customers to help them get deployed, secured, delivering that great experience. And it's that direct feedback into the engineering teams that every single day we're learning.
Yeah,
every day.
And we see it in the product, and you see it in the usage and the data. And I think that's our commitment, right? To not only listen, but to also continue to bring innovation to the platform. And whether it's around security, like secure core PCs, or around identity, whatever it might be that we're being asked for, like to continue to put our energy into it and innovate on it. And I think our responsibility is just that. And our commitment to our customers is just that. Like how we will continue to innovate, continue to bring not only energy to the platform, but the things that are needed for your businesses to succeed and grow, and also for the users of the product to be asking for it and wanting more. And I think if you put those two things together, from the device to the services all the way through the cloud, and whether it's on the edge or in the cloud, there's this opportunity for us to continue to drive success through productivity. Here's the deal. I think it's worth taking another minute. These have been good conversations, but we should talk a little bit about the hybrid workplace and what that means. It's kind of a buzzword right now.
Yeah. Hybrid workplace, the new normal.
People are talking about it, and I try and talk to the team a lot about this.
Yeah.
And one of my ways of thinking about it is, you don't have to keep talking about what's changing or is it changing. It's changed. How we work, how we learn, I think has forever shifted. And it's an interesting. It might not be known exactly where it's shifting to, but for sure, we have a ton to learn right now.
I think we are seeing like a full year of digital transformation happening every month right now.
Yeah.
Like, if you were to ask me back in January, hey, could we be successful all working remote? Or Brad, could you be successful if you wanted to work from home 2 or 3 days ago? The answer would have been no way.
Yeah.
No way. So as I think about what the new normal or the hybrid work experience is, this concept of working from everywhere is here to stay, and it's our job to make sure our customers can enable that.
Ultimately, these products have to adapt to you, and it's really the operating system of Windows that brings that to life, combined with the great devices that are coming to life with the different form factors. And that end-to-end capability that then connected directly to the cloud, I think there's opportunity for how we continue to make it easier for people and how we continue to make it easier for people to work.
And then it's my job to make sure all the things you just described can be done in a way where the user is they feel empowered, they feel connected, but IT also feels like, hey, it's secure, it's safe, I'm doing the things that I have to be to ensure that there's compliance.
I think it matters. And this is where customers, this is where we can give enough confidence through these products and the platform that ultimately, that's not what they think about. What they think about is what they're creating, who they're communicating with, who they're connecting with.
Who they're empowering.
This is what's so important in life. Like, this is what it's all about. And so I think that's, the times are changing, but they've changed. And we're living in it. And we're living in it now right here in this studio. And it's pretty incredible.
Good point. Now, Panos, you mentioned Edge. I think we have to talk about Edge, because here's the interesting stat. When we look at where users of Windows spend their time, the average user spends 60% of their time in the browser or the Office apps. And if it's like you and me who live on Teams, it's more than 90%.
Yeah, believe it. I totally believe it. And here's the deal. Like, when we talk about putting more innovation into Windows and where we're focused and where customers need more from us, like that integration point of Windows, whether it's the shell and Edge and how they come together, or the seamlessness of transitions between M365 and what Edge is bringing to the table and how those come together. They're thinking about them all the way through. But let me challenge you for a minute. You want to play? Let's play.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. You tell me why. Give me 3 great reasons why a business should use Edge as their default browser. I know, a cheesy question, but for sure, try. Let me just see. Let me see if let's see if you can pass that test.
I'll give you more than 3.
Of course. Which is super typical. If you don't know Brad, all he does is overachieve and literally compete. That's all I know about Brad. Okay, go ahead.
Compete with integrity.
All right.
First, actually, Edge has a better compatibility story than Chrome.
Okay.
And you're going to be thinking, how can that be? Edge is built on Chromium.
Yeah, give me one example or give me a story.
Almost every organization on the planet has apps that were developed for IE. Edge has all the compatibility from Chromium and IE.
Yeah, which is just killer.
So you have
Especially
more
for
compatibility
business,
for your
especially
apps.
for business.
Exactly.
All right, so
right.
keep going.
Second,
Yep.
Privacy. It's been proven Edge has many more
Okay.
compliance controls. Yeah, enough said.
Done. No, 3.
Management and security, my specialty.
All right, this is your baby. That's not fair. So it's good you're going more than 3, but I
Yeah,
got
we
it.
have completely now built the same controls that we built into the Office apps into Edge on the various platforms.
Which I think is an incredible
Absolutely.
feature, because now we're talking like straight connection. This is powerful.
Exactly. Fourth is actually just the impact on the endpoint. When you deploy Chrome, it's like deploying an entire operating system. Edge is just much more effective. And then number 5.
You got 5. I thought you were
5. Better search for what an enterprise needs. And you're going to say, better search, how is that? When I go into Edge and I do a search, I get all the results from the internet, but also from the intranet in one screen. So it's searching all the company data and the external
That's pretty
data.
good.
All right, now let me challenge you. You ready?
No, I'm not ready. That's really not the way it's supposed to work. Like, I don't think it's right.
How important is silicon diversity?
Oh, it's a good question. It's a good question. It's critical. Like, we want choice for our customers. Like, we got some of the most amazing OEMs on the planet, and then take the opportunity to pick the device you want, the amazing devices that are being brought forward.
It's actually very personal. The PC you choose is actually a very personal decision.
It's an object. It's an object for sure. It should be. It's the thing you're using. You're
proud of it.
Like, so
Exactly.
important. And whether it's HP, Dell, Lenovo, Surface, like, these are great products, great brands that come together that we want you to jump into. But silicon is critical here. Like, we talk about, that the chip, how it matters, and the design elements. And Intel and AMD are both doing phenomenal work. We're working together on every detail, building through the next generations of Windows. What we do today, from everything we just talked about, is enabled through those partnerships. Yeah, totally. And just the design work we get to do together, and including Qualcomm and on ARM, which is an important bet right now. It's worth talking about.
It is. And today we actually made a huge announcement on the Aperture program and Windows on ARM.
Yeah, so this is good. Talk about that. And now, Aperture for Windows on ARM. This is really important. It's just a nuance there, because we weren't doing Aperture previously on ARM products.
That's
and this
right.
is where compatibility matters so much, and there's so many questions on this. Maybe talk about Aperture. I'll turn the tables back on you.
Why
don't you talk about Aperture and your belief in it and what we're doing with it?
Yeah, actually, I think Aperture is one of the most incredible things my team has ever come up with. And here was the promise. If you had an app that ran on Windows 7 and had a compatibility on 10, call us, and we'll either fix Windows or help you fix your app.
Yep.
And the scale has been unbelievable. We've now...
Yeah, and it's an awesome program.
It is. And so we've actually looked at over 700,000 apps. And here's the incredible thing. In those 700,000, only 1,800 had a compatibility issue. I mean, Windows did an amazing job on compatibility, like never before seen, that kind of compatibility. But we're extending the promise now to Windows on ARM. If you have an app that runs on Windows, on Intel, or Intel on AMD, and it has a problem on ARM, call us, we will fix it.
Okay. Well, this is good.
I love
hold
it.
you to that.
I love it. Please do.
I think it's an amazing program. I think for the momentum that we're seeing right now to bring the opportunity for more diversity, more options, more choice for our customers, like, where else can that happen? It's impressive and incredible. I'm so proud of the teams. And the Windows engineering team, the Surface engineering team, our OEM partners, everyone puts energy here to make these devices end to end for you to work with every day. And look, let me just say thank you to everybody who's watching today. For on behalf of Brad and I, here we are backstage at Ignite. We thought we'd break it up a little bit. I hope we did that for you. We're super grateful, and really coming from a humble place of, we know how important it is that we get this opportunity to listen, and we know how lucky we are to get to work on the products that we get to work on, and we hope you had a little bit of fun and maybe learned something today. So, Brad, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
And being such a great partner.
Likewise.
And look forward to a lot more amazing stuff coming out of Windows.